Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another episode of Visible Woman on LinkedIn. Woo! We are live and we are in the house. Who is here and who is live and in the house with us on this? I was gonna say sunny Thursday evening, but it was sunny today. At least the snow's gone away here in the UK. I'm really happy about that because it feels like spring is on the way, and after spring is summer, and I love summer. So we are going to have warm weather soon. But who is here with us? It's Thursday evening, and we are here for Visible Women on LinkedIn. So if you're logging in, drop a hello in the comments, react to show that you're watching so that I know that you're here. Let yourself be made known. Do you know how you can be visible in this session? By engaging, right? That's how you can be visible, by reacting, by commenting, by joining in, because these sessions are really interactive. So I want to hear from you. Hi, Sandra. Good evening. Sandra, I should start giving away first prizes, right? For the first people to log in and say hello, right? So Sandra, you get the first prize, the virtual prize for being the first to be here today for episode 3 of Visible Women on LinkedIn, season 2. Hi, Eugenie. Good to see you, Eugenie. I think this is your first time live with us, right? But hello. Good to have you here. Leandra. That's the first time I've seen your name. Hi. Welcome. Hi, Juma. Here to support. Yeah. Guys are welcome too. Don't worry. Glad to have you here. Audra, Sally, Sandra, LinkedIn, Tawanda, you made it all the way from New York. Hey, good to have you here. Right, Sandra says, I really need this evening. It's been a day, a sad face day. Okay, don't worry. If anyone's going to put a smile on your face, it's my guest today, Veronica, right? That's what she's good at. She puts the fun in fun, but we will get to it very, very soon. So you're in the right place, Sandra. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Sally. Hi, JP. Yay. Liz is here too. Hi, guys. The crew is in the house. I am so excited about this session. I know I say that all the time, but genuinely, I am genuinely excited today. In fact, I'm excited all the time. I'm excited all the time because I love doing these sessions. Now, if you're tuning in, hi, Judy. If you're tuning in for the first time and you don't know what this Visible Women show is about, this is the LinkedIn Live show that we have here. My name, Mildred Talabi. I present this show, but it's a way that we can have conversations with women, amazing women who are doing great things in their business, and they are using this awesome platform called LinkedIn to build their brands, build their business, grow their income, grow their audience, all of that good stuff. So in these Visible Women on LinkedIn conversations, we get to know them better. We get to find out what makes them tick, how they got into their business. And then we get to share some lessons or learn some lessons, some insights that will help us all to continue to be visible on this platform. So this is what Visible Women is all about. It's every Thursday at 6 o'clock GMT. I have no idea what that is in Central Time or EST or anything like that. Go to Google, right? But it's 6 o'clock GMT for the next 3 more weeks. We've got 3 more sessions for Visible Women, and they're all going to be awesome. So glad to have you all here. Hi, Chris. Hello, Chris. Hi, Tejao Roma. Hi, Tejao. Good to see you. Good to see you all. Ladies, are you excited about today's guest? Are you looking forward to hear from my guest today? Because I know that I am. I definitely am. But a few housekeeping stuff first. So just so I know who's watching, react. Use any of the react buttons, whether it's a like, a love, a curious, an insightful, whatever it is. But just react to show that you're watching so that I know that you're here. And if you don't already get email reminders about these sessions, go to mildredtalabi.com/visible woman and just pop your details in there, and I will send you reminders every Thursday, as well as on Mondays, my weekly newsletters on how to use LinkedIn. You will also get that as well, which has more details about who I'm going to interview each week. So pop your details in there if you're interested in getting that. So I want to talk to Veronica. I do want to talk to Veronica because we have got a lot to cover. So I am going to bring her on. And guys, listen, backstage, Veronica is dancing. I can see her dancing. Maybe she'll keep some of that dance when I invite her onto the stage in a minute. So hi, Munwara. Good to see you here. Hi, Chris. Did I say hi to you, Chris, already? Hi. But good to see you all, ladies. But listen, Veronica, who I'm about to speak to today, I described her on Monday as a powerhouse on this platform because the first time her full name, Veronica Safoa Owusu. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right, but if I'm not, she's gonna tell me, But when I first saw her, came across her video on LinkedIn, she was dancing. I am not nowhere near as good a dancer as her, right? But she was dancing and she was delivering some coaching message, and I was like, this is interesting. Who is this woman? So another one of her posts I saw, again, same thing. And she gets really good engagement, but most of her videos, she's doing some kind of dancing or some kind of interactive fun something, and I'm like, this is a strategy that I haven't seen much of on LinkedIn. And in fact, a lot of people don't think that you can have fun on LinkedIn. They think LinkedIn is a professional, boring platform. And Veronica's breaking all the rules around that. So I'm like, I have got to talk to this woman. So she is look, I put it out there. She's a transformational online course creator, a course creation coach. And she is also a deep dive mindset coach, as well as other things. So she really takes you deep, but she's going to tell us more about what she does in just a second. So I want you guys to just get ready, drum your keyboards with your fingers, as I get ready to introduce my guest for tonight, episode 3 of Visible Women on LinkedIn, Veronica Safoa Owusu. Welcome, Veronica.
Hi, Mildred. I'm dancing the Azonto. It's very popular in Ghana.
Azonto. In my head, I do a great Azonto dance. In my head.
Mildred, thank you so much for inviting me and having me. It's such a pleasure.
It's such a pleasure to have you here. It is, honestly, when I put out that I was going to interview you, some of the things people said about you were, Veronica is an inspirational lighthouse. She is a light on this platform. She's the real deal. She's the dancing queen. So many good things to say about you, right? So, and I want to know all about it. So let's get started with actually, what is it? How do you describe what you do in your own words?
Oh boy, you know what, Mildred? Let's go back to when I was 16 years old. I finished my afternoon lessons and I go to my mom's office. She's a teacher in the school that I go to, and she's the head of the nursery department. So after my lessons, I just go there. I'm done with the day and I go to the back of the class, right, and put my bag down and just sit there, right? And as I watch my mom, these 30 kids in front of her, hypnotized by what she was saying. They were so inspired. They were so looking up to her. She inspired them. She empowered them. And when I saw her, I was like, I want to do that. I want to do what she does. I want to inspire. I want to, help people. I want to be a teacher. So fast forward, when I did my A-levels, the question was, okay, so Veronica, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to America. That's where, all my friends are going, or the UK or somewhere. No, you're going to Poland. My mom is Polish, so I'm half Ghanaian, half Polish, born and bred in Ghana. So I went to Poland and I did my master's in educational sciences. So that's where the passion for teaching came in. And, I worked in Poland as an educator, as a TELC examiner for about 10 years. Within that time, Mildred, of course, as young people, we ventured into this business world, right? It's like, yeah, let's make some money. Let's set up a business. All for the wrong reasons, of course. So after, a few years of running the business, we had an import-export company. We had a web development branding agency. After about 4 or 5 years, things started spiraling down. I kind of lost my path from the teaching because I had kind of stopped the teaching and I was focusing on the business. And one day, Mildred, I found myself in front of a pawnbroker shop, selling all my precious belongings because we had been declared bankrupt. Our 2 companies had lost everything. We had to sell the cars, we sold the furniture, the equipment, every single thing. So in that pawnbroker shop, as I was selling my precious belongings, the hair on my back stood. I knew, Mildred, that this was not what I was created to do. I had lost my way somewhere. And I always say this, that's where V Powerless transformed into V Power, as many people know me for. It was in that very moment that I had to step into my truth and ask myself really tough questions. Like, you know what? Who on earth are you? after you've lost everything you ever identified yourself with. Like, really, you don't have the company, you're not a business owner. You've lost your job, you're not that manager. Well, you got divorced, you're no longer a wife. So who are you? So that embarked me on this journey, the deep dive, like you mentioned. And fast forward, I always say coaching found me because I had immersed myself into this personal development. I didn't know back then, 9, 10 years ago, that I was reprogramming, rewiring my mind, planting seeds of inspiration, planting seeds of empowering beliefs that eventually led me into coaching. But you see, Mildred, so what if we train to become coaches? Who are you as a coach? What are you meant to do? Who are you meant to serve? What are the solutions that you're offering to solve these problems, the difference that you want to make in the world? So that embarked me on the second half of my journey, discovering myself as a coach. And as I evolved, Mildred, I remember I had buried my past. The teacher life, the educator, the entrepreneur, gone bankrupt. I had buried it deep into the ground. I'm a coach now. I'm here to help people achieve their goals, unlock potential, bring it on. That's not how it goes. So as I evolved as a coach, I realized I needed to find my voice, my true voice. I needed to know who I was as that coach, what change did I want to see in the world, and unearth all that I had buried. So when I did that inner work and evolved, I found out that, you know what, I'm here to serve, but who, how? And I used my skills as an educator, as a teacher. And I realized that one of my most outstanding skills was lesson planning, creating courses, program development schemes. That's how we got results for our kids. That's how we help them grow from, beginner level to advanced level, if it came to English, for example, because I was also an ESL teacher. Right. That's how we got results. So with the passion I had to unlock potential, with the skills I had, I put all that together. And today, what I do, of course, like you said, I help other upcoming coaches, pivoting coaches, create their tools through the form of transformational online courses so that they can have that impact, they can have that influence, and eventually be rewarded for that and make a difference in the world how they want to. So long story short, it's been a journey, Mildred. Boy.
Okay. Wow. And we are absolutely going to unpack every stage of that journey because you just gave me everything in like 2 minutes.
And now, right?
And I'm like, hold up, because there's loads of things we want to deep dive into, So I love it, but I love that full picture of how you got to where you are today. So I want to take you all the way back to the beginning because you mentioned that. So you're part Ghanaian and part Polish. So your dad's Ghanaian and your mom's Polish, and you were born and raised in Ghana. So tell us about that upbringing.
Gosh, so, being brought up in a mixed culture, right? I feel that was a great gift, right? I saw the two worlds. And really, there was nothing like, oh, my mom is white, my dad is black, and, they were just mom and dad. And in Ghana, Ghana is very open and we're, I didn't feel different. I didn't feel that I didn't belong. It was only when I went to Poland that I experienced my very first racist attack. I was like, oh, but my mom is Polish. Like, am I not at home? Is this not my home? Like, then where is my home? As coming from a mixed background, you're like, so, well, I know my heart, of course, is where I was born and bred. And that's deeply rooted in Ghana. So yes, but it was a beautiful experience. My mom being a teacher, my dad being an engineer, growing up together with my siblings was one of the best memories in my life. Were in Ghana, for sure.
How long were you in Ghana, and when did you move to Poland? What age were you?
Yes, so gosh, I left Ghana after my A levels. So I was born in Ghana, and when I finished my A levels, I was maybe 19. So I went to Poland when I was maybe 19, 20. Yes, so that was the beginning of, leaving the nest. I was the last born. I had 2 sisters, and it was like a tradition. Everybody had to go to Poland. My dad, of course, met my mom in Poland because, Ghana and Poland were very close. The first president, Kwame Nkrumah, after Ghana gained independence, was a socialist. He had socialist views. So he was in very close contact with the Soviet Union, with Poland and all the other communist countries, right? So Poland and Ghana were exchanging students, scholarship schemes and all that. So my father went there and found the love of his life and brought her back to Ghana at the age of 22. She was only 22. Can you imagine? People like, where on earth are you going? Where are you going to be living?
Wow,
You know?
wow. So your mom had to uproot her whole life in Poland to move to Ghana.
Yes, she was very brave, and she always says is very courageous. But she remembered as a child, she read this book about the adventure of two children who got lost in the jungle deep in Africa, one of the African countries, and how they got kidnapped and then saved by some tribal men, and how they were taken through the forest and then through the desert and back, like a whole journey. And she's like, wow, I want to really, go to Africa. I guess, the universe heard her well.
Yeah. So just a bit more on the family side. How were your grandparents, her parents, were they happy with that decision? Or was there, because I know those were different times back then.
Yes, absolutely. They were not. Her father, I remember, was very, disappointed and very sad. This was like, his favorite daughter, and she's leaving with someone who's come from a whole different continent. But when she went to Ghana, my mom was a teacher already back in Poland. So she started, learning English from scratch, and she got into a nursery school. She started teaching. Her life started taking shape. And when her parents saw that, my daughter's not doing that bad back in Ghana, they kind of calmed down. And my mom gave birth to Aneta, my elder sister, and I think that kind of melted his heart. So they kind of opened up and accepted that their daughter has this new life. And my mom visited once in a while with Aneta when she was a baby. So things all they all played out smoothly after a while.
Okay, yeah, okay, that's good. So a happily ever after type of ending. Okay. So there you are, little Veronica in Ghana with your parents. So your dad's an engineer, your mom's a teacher.
Yes.
What were you thinking? So were you automatically drawn to teaching from when you were little, or did that grow as you grew older?
You know what? I remember at the age of 8, I wanted to be a detective. But these were little things that, came up to my mind. But I knew I loved performing. I loved dancing as far back as I can remember. I was always in the school's dance group or the choir. Veronica was always somewhere doing something with every school show that came up. And unearthing what I call my gold dust. I brought that forth. I'm like, I'm bringing that, whatever, I don't care. I'm bringing that for, this is what I loved. This is who I was. And I'm going to integrate this into who I am and how I show up in the world.
Okay. So you've had that. So sounds like you were a confident kid.
You know what? When it came to performing arts, I was. Academically, I remember one situation very, very vividly. I was maybe 8 years old, 9 years old. We had this, I think it was an English oral test. And there were about 30 kids in the class, and I was sitting somewhere in the back. The teacher slowly, comes up to each child, and they had to orally spell out a word. And she finally approached me and she said, so Veronica, these are your words, spell them. And out of the 30 kids, I got them wrong. I couldn't spell it. And she said, you know what, I want to see you at break time. So break time, I go up to the teacher and said, yes, teacher, yes. She said, you need to go to the vice principal's office. And I go, what have I done? And I was quite confused. And I remember walking down the little path, and I was dreading not to see my mom. She was a teacher. Like, that's the worst thing, to have your mom as a teacher at the school. And as I opened that door to the vice principal's office, she was, scrappling through her papers, and she looked at me. Obviously, she was quite busy. And she said, what? So you can't spell? Go and sit in that corner. And for about 30 minutes, I sat in that corner, tears trickling down my cheeks, wondering what on earth was wrong with me, wondering, wow, like, am I not good enough? I'm not smart enough. And I think that was the time that I planted a seed that really, you know what, Veronica, you're not smart enough. And reaffirming that seed that I had planted, I repeated the year. All my friends went to year 5, and I stayed in year 4. So academically, I never really felt that I was smart enough. I never really thought I was good enough. And that also, fast forward I could really tell, looking back and connecting the dots when we're running the business, I always allowed the people to run the show, living passively, allowing other, or living up to somebody else's expectation of who you should or shouldn't be because you doubt yourself. And when you come to that realization that you've been living somebody else's dream, somebody else's expectation of who you should or shouldn't be, that's a big slap in your face, a big wake up call. So bloody hell, so who am I? Right. And owning that. And that was a whole different journey altogether. But I was definitely a performer. I love that. But when the academic side of things, I always kind of doubted myself. But I always, of course, my mom being the teacher that she was, understood, because I was the youngest in the class once again. She understood that, Veronica's going to be fine. And she never stressed. Like, I remember she never stressed. I'll come back home. I didn't do too well on a test. She'd look at it, we'll go through it, we'll learn. And she's like, Veronica, you do better next time. She never really gave me a hard time with all those things. And she was very understanding, very supportive. And I can understand why, as a teacher, you need to understand the psychology of a child and kind of making it worse by judging the child is not going to help. So just giving that reassurance, and hey, look at us. We turned out very well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So clearly you're an entrepreneur now, and we're going to talk about your journey, in more detail. But when you were young, were there any entrepreneurial seeds? Was there any indication that this is what you're going to do with your life later on?
No. No, I grew up, my mom, worked her whole life as a teacher. My dad, the civil servant, he worked in the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. That was the national radio broadcasting in the whole of Ghana. So he was head of the engineering department over there. So these were really safe, secure jobs. When my mom found out that, wow, I'm going to do this full time, she's like, Veronica, are you sure? Are you sure you want to leave the teaching? Maybe you can, at least do something, because she was used to that safety. I'm like, no, I'm doing this.
Okay, so it wasn't. So this just came from you,
Yeah.
nothing, not your parents shaping or
No,
anything like that.
no. It was only in Poland that, that urge to try something businessy or business-like. Back then, Poland was very open to startups and very supportive. So yeah, we tried and did our thing.
Okay. And I want to know that, because you said we many times. You said bankrupt. So I want to know the ins and outs of this
absolutely.
business. Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, no. Tell me about that. But I want to know. I think I saw some of the businesses you had. So I'll tell you. I'll ask you about them in a minute.
Okay.
But so the dancing part of it, though. So it was just something that was recreational for you. It was never something that you did seriously.
So back in Poland, I was part of a band,
Okay.
a performing band. It was an African performing band, and for 6 years we traveled the whole of Poland. I visited over 100 cities altogether over those 6 years, especially during the summer holidays, where there were festivals, open air festivals, and parties, and all these events going on. We were on stage, we were singing, sometimes as support singers for one of the great or most popular Polish singers, for example, would be the backup or the support band or something like that. Or we would be in front of over 5,000 people, and your hands up cheering, you're like, and everybody go like, and it was so amazing, that ability to stand in front of 5,000 people and everybody's jumping, and just at one sound, everybody responds back, and the energy. I think that has a lot to do with how I show up, especially nowadays. You have to own who you are and all that you've done in your life. These are the things that I've done. These are the things that have made me who I am. So I'm going to package that and show up as that, not as just someone who is always in a suit. You won't always see me in a suit. You see me in, different things, because I'm not just a suit person. Yes, I can come up and show up really flashy and nice with a suit and look all businessy like. One time I had a picture on LinkedIn and I was wearing a suit. Like, Veronica, you look like a real CEO. Like, it was so different. And then another time you see me, with a jumper or a jacket and, no makeup, my hair all wet or something, and I'm like giving a message. So I want to show up how I want to show up.
Yeah. I like
I don't
that. I
want to
want
be
to
tied
show
down.
up.
I don't
Yeah.
like being restricted. Oh boy, I think that has also come from my past. I don't like restriction. I don't know, there's a dark side to it maybe, but
A rebellious side. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I love that idea of I want to show up how I want to show up. And why not? Who gets to decide how we show up in the world, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
As long as it's aligned with your truth, as long as
Mhm.
you feel comfortable, as long as it represents something of you and you want to share with the world, as long as it's relevant to who you are, as long as it's relevant to the audience that you want to build and the community that you want to create, then hey, go for it. You know what? Why do I dance? There's a strategy behind it and there's a reason behind it. I want to grow a tribe. I want to grow a community that vibes with me. So the whole idea of communicating my messages through dance in some of my posts is to grow the tribe of people who vibe with that feel, who like dancing as well, who love music, who also wish they could just break free and also do whatever it is that they wanted to do and be inspired. So that is building the community, right?
Mhm.
It's not necessarily building clients. No, that's not it. It's
Yes.
within the community that you have supporters. It's within the community that you have your raving fans, and it's within the community that you have potential clients. So you're not just looking for clients, you're looking for a community, people that will support you, people that will refer you, people that you say, you know what, I've had situations where people just from posts, they would refer me to somebody and then, okay, and then we'll see where that goes. I have no attachment to the outcomes, but let's see. So it's building a community of people who that vibe with me. I want to build a community of people that are energetic, love having fun, don't
Mhm.
want to be restricted, and want to be expressive of who they are and just show up however they wish to at that point in time.
Yes. I
So
love
that means being a manifestation of those ideologies, of those values. I have to live up to that myself.
Yeah, yeah. And what you're describing there is the power of a personal brand. It's when
Mm,
your personal brand is so strong that you can't help but to pull people in that resonate with that, as you say, that vibe with
mm,
you. So I
mm.
love that. I love how you show up with your personal brand, on LinkedIn.
And it's funny, the word brand.
Mhm.
I have personally never actually directly face to face experienced or worked with a branding coach. I've
Mhm.
never had that personal experience that, okay, you know what, I want to brand myself.
Mhm.
Let's work together. I want to create a brand. I think ultimately what happens through that experience of working with a branding coach is ultimately you get to know how you want people to experience you,
Mhm.
because that's ultimately it. How do you want people to experience you? That means you have to know your values, you have to know what you present, you have to know all these things. So I think it all boils down to just being your bloody
Yeah. Yeah. Can't beat that.
self. So but yes, I can definitely, but I can definitely see myself working with a branding coach, because I am going to work with one, but in Ghana, because I'm going
Mhm.
to do a bit of a rebranding when I visit Ghana. I'm going to do my whole photo shoot there. So I've got the stylist who's back in Ghana. I've already contacted her. We're already working on the vision board and the mood thing and all those things. So that is definitely something that I want to work with, right? Somebody who can help me bring out all that more.
Yeah, yeah, I love it. Can we get an exclusive on what the new brand's gonna be?
No, I think it's the same. It's the same me. It's the
Okay.
same me. It's just the warrior, the fearlessness that can be manifested in the African outfit. I want that, because I don't have that here in the UK. Oh, I don't have all that. I want to express that Afrocentric feel, because that's also who I am, and I can't get it anywhere else than in Ghana. So
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And yes, Leandra is loving a vibe tribe, she says. Yes, yes, yes,
uh,
vibe tribe. Yeah, absolutely. Chioma says, show up as you go, 100%, 100%. So, yeah, you're resonating. And Lola says, be 100% you, subtract nothing. Yeah,
yes.
totally, totally. I love it. I love it. So, what came first, Veronica? The teaching, the education, or the dancing for 6 years? What was a career path that came first?
The dancing or the career? Oh, so definitely, I was dancing back in university. So that's
Okay.
like 20 years ago or so. That was our side gig. So when I was in the band, that was what we did during the the weekends or something. So that was definitely a side gig during university. So when it came to the coaching, I always say, you know, finding my journey, finding my path. I say coaching always found me because I, you know, it just popped up on my feed, the coaching academy, unlock potential. Like, this person is speaking my language, because for the past 4 years, initially, I told you I'd immersed myself into personal development, right? So I was like, oh, I want to check this out. So I went for the workshop and I was like, wow, there is a way of actually packaging this, all that I've been learning, all that I've been reading, because literally I would be walking, I'd be jogging, I'd be in the tram back going to work, I would be anywhere. I was with my headphones and listening to all the gurus from personal development, you know, from Napoleon Hill, Alan Stone, James Allen, Clement Stone, and all the gurus that you could think of, the pioneers of personal development. So the language just spoke to me. I was like, wow, I need to do this. I want to do this. I want to do coaching. But then I was like, oh boy, how am I going to pay for that? I was quite crazy. I was like, oh gosh. And it wasn't a time in my life where I was like, but you know what? I needed an exit. I needed a way out. I felt trapped. I felt suffocated. My marriage was on the rocks by then already. And I needed to become independent. I was like, you know what? I'm going to use the last few pounds I have, and I'm going to pay for this in installments. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. There was no turning back. I felt it in my core that this is something that I was meant to do. So I am going to invest in it. And I invested the last of my pennies in that course to do that coaching training. And when I did finally finish it, it was like, where are the clients? Where? They don't really teach you about marketing or really about creating this as a business. Okay, you've got the skills. Bring anybody who has a goal or some limiting belief block, we'll sort it out. I know all that. But that's not enough to thrive, especially online. So I had to learn. I did not want to be in the 80%, as statistics show, of the struggling coach, or the one that hardly barely makes it and has to do something else. I didn't want that, because my marriage was broken. I had 2 kids already. There was no turning back. There was no escape plan or anything like that. So I had to do it. So I invested more. I invested more in, for example, storytelling. I needed to find my voice. Lisa Nichols, I love her. And I did one of her online courses back in the days, about 4 years ago. I was like, she has this craft, and I know stories are the ones that build bridges. So I did that course and I learned that skill and I applied it. Okay. Right. Next thing. Okay, but I need a package. And at the back of my mind, something said, Veronica, bloody hell, you're a teacher. You've been doing packages for years. What are you talking about? I'm like, huh? Then I started creating programs. The very first program I created was Courageous Living, which I still run in collaboration with another training house back in London, right? Then I created the Accelerated Success Coaching Program as well. I started getting clients, right? Back then, we're doing like live networking and things like that. I was also now starting my online presence. So having your voice, knowing how to tell your story, right? Packaging your services in such a way that you have a structure. You have a bridge, I like to call them, that takes your client from A to B. But most importantly, Mildred, this is the most important, knowing who your ideal client is. I call it the ideal tribe member. And you know what the funny thing is? As you evolve as a coach, your ideal client can also evolve. Because mine certainly did. With a Courageous Living, it was a different group. With the Accelerated Success, it was also a different group. But as I finally started to unearth my gold dust, and I found that my teaching, course creation skills, plus my passion to make a difference in the world, I could teach other people how to create courses. Like this is like second nature. It's like, I can close my eyes and just give me the topic. I'll create a lesson plan. Because what is a course? What is it? It's a collective of lesson plans. Absolutely. Structured all together. It's, because you have one lesson plan, but it's a collection of that ultimately together leads with milestones towards an aim. With a collection of objectives, it leads to a certain aim goal. So I was like, this, Veronica. And that voice kept on, I was like, come on, I'm a coach and a teacher. Come on, leave me alone, right? I was trying to figure things out, always looking outside of myself, looking what other people were doing. Okay, this looks quite, maybe I can try that out. Always, I will wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning to attend this webinar, how to find your ideal client avatar. I was like, oh, it felt so distant and so disconnected. I took thousands and thousands of notes, never really did anything with it. I was like, okay, so now what? Can you feel me? I was pregnant, I remember, with Olympia then. I was like, I had to wake up at night, I had to attend webinars, I had to surf the net, try to do my website. I think, so what exactly is the message? Okay, coach. I'm like, yeah, you're totally lost as a coach. But you need to stop. You need to stop looking outside at what other people are doing. All these webinars on how to find your ideal client. I find them so surface. You have this form that you have to fill in. So who's your niche? Okay, what do they love? What is psychology? And what do they like? Where do they go to clubs, or what do they read? Yeah, great. It's like you're creating.
I'm like, oh my God, that doesn't matter. What do they eat for breakfast? Who cares?
So, but you know what, Mildred? I totally believe deeply in my core that knowing who your ideal client is crucial. But the way it is done, the way you find that person, with me, in my Impact Course Creation Academy, we do need to find your ideal client avatar. I don't call it that. I call it the ideal tribe member, because it's more personal. And we do have to find it. We can't create a course if you don't know that. So it is an important element. But the way I do it is through a deep dive, unearthing, like I did with myself. And finding that ideal tribe member within you. So when you do have to answer those questions, yes, you're more relatable, more personal. It's like you're faking things or you're making things up and now creating this woman from ashes or from the soil or from sand. But you're recreating yourself somewhere in the past, because your ideal client, your ideal tribe member, 99.9% of the time is you somewhere in the past. The question is, at which point and which problem are you going to try solving? So it's so important.
Yeah. I love that whole idea of, I find that sometimes as a coach, that is, in fact, is a great place to start, like looking for people like you, in terms of you want to do coaching. But I like the way you put it, your ideal tribe member, it's someone who was you at some point in your past. That's powerful, and that's really helpful for people looking to locate that ideal client.
But you know what, Mildred, I needed to hear that 1,000 times before I got it. You can hear me, but you get it. It takes a while to really get what that means, that your ideal client is me. Some like, well, what's that? I mean, there were many points in my life. There were many things I've gone through. There were many things that I've triumphed through, like what, who, which, like where. So that's where connecting the dot comes in. I call it, of course, I'm going to say this is like, don't laugh. I call it the G spot. What? The golden spot. Please, Mildred, where's your mind going? Come on.
Hey, I didn't say anything. I'm a clean Christian girl up in here, right?
I know what you mean. Now, let me explain. The golden spot. The spot where you cannot see because it's within you. The G spot, you can't see it. You know it's there, but you're not quite sure where. Sometimes you need help finding it. So it's connecting, of course, your passion plus your skills and your knowledge, and finding that spot where, yes, there's a specific problem that you can solve from the time in your past. And that ideal client is facing that same issue. And now you have the roadmap, you have the blueprint, you have the process.
I love that. That one might be too hard for LinkedIn. If I start putting G-spot summaries out there, I might get blocked. But I love it. It serves the purpose.
The golden spot. That's your golden spot.
Yeah, I love it. There's something that you said as well that I think is important to revisit. So at the time that you took up coaching, and you for the coaching, you said you literally had nothing, had no money left, and you invested all your money into this coaching. Why was that? What made you believe that you could make this thing work?
There was no other option. When you make it you set in your mind that this is it. You find actually what you're really passionate about, and you're like, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I was called to do. You will do every single thing to make it work for you. You'll not find excuses. I attended multiple every weekend, every other day. I was at networking events. I was out there doing something, and then on calls, trying to figure things out and trying to really navigate the ocean. And the thing is, it didn't have to take that long, like it took for me. And that is what I wish for the people that I work with, because it doesn't have to take long. I can remember one of my clients, within 2 months of the program, she got her first premium client. I'm like, hey, when I started off, it took me like over 6-7 months. Look at you, 2 months. Because you can get it. Doesn't have to take ages.
Yeah. Okay. I love it. I love you have to, as I keep quoting Lolette now, you have to bet on yourself, just that whole, if you can't believe you'll make it happen, how are other people going to believe that you'll make it happen? Right.
Absolutely. I had to escape. When I say escape, I knew my marriage was over by then, and I was dependent. I was not free personally, financially. I felt trapped. I couldn't make those choices that I wanted to make, when I wanted to make, and how I wanted to make them. So I was like, no, Veronica, that enough is enough. So that was my exit plan, that you need to get financially free to reset yourself free of whatever it is that you're experiencing that you're not happy with, and that is toxic in your life and it's just not serving you anymore.
Okay, let's talk about that and that escape, because you've mentioned a few times we had a business, and I know that so I know that before you got to the coaching, you had a clothing business and also a natural products business. Tell us about those business ventures.
So we, of course, was my husband. Yes. So you know what? The plan when I went to Poland, I told my mom back in Ghana when we were signing the papers to apply for the university. Like, I'm going there for 5 years, right? And I'm coming back. I'm coming back to work at the school that my mom was working. That was like the plan. I gotta have a job there secured as a teacher. It'd be cool. But of course, I fell in love, and I stayed in Poland the rest of my life, as in the rest of the years, right? And settled there. So yes, we set up this business, and it was an import-export company. We were importing natural unrefined shea butter, right, from Ghana to Poland. We're supplying these cosmetic companies with this raw material. They use it in cosmetics, right? This is like one of the basic materials that they use. So that was that, and we also had the web development company. But also, I had this side thing for T-shirts and raising African awareness in Poland, because I realized in Poland they don't really know much about African awareness and the culture. So I was doing these Ajinkra symbols. These are symbols from Ghana that have a message, a proverb, some kind of an insight. So that's what I was designing, and I'd learned that skill of designing from the graphic designers that I was working with. We had a web development branding company, so I was surrounded with graphic designers, right? So I learned how to use Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. Back then there was Corel Draw. They don't use it anymore. I don't
remember so. Corel Draw. Oh my gosh!
You can see how long ago that was, right?
Yeah.
And so yes, and I was, I'd go for little festivals here and there and sell my T-shirts in a stand and trying to, figure things out and make it work. But after a while, there's something about me, when it's not it, I am not consistent. That's just me. I know if I make a decision and I say this is it, I'll show up. I will be consistent, and I know myself for that. But when I'm not consistent with something, it's because it doesn't matter to me that much. It's not that important to me, and I'm going to own it. And I've done things that, I feel excited in the beginning, then I lose interest. So I'm not consistent with that, and I never really finish it through. Something about writing a book. I had this idea of always wanting to write a book. I want to write a book. I want to write a book. I want to write a book. I even, connected with a few copywriters here but I never followed through. So I'm like, Veronica, why do you want this again? I don't know. I couldn't find an answer deep enough, I love the idea, but then so why do you want this? To grow your business? I don't need that. To do. I'm like, nah, I don't want it anymore. Or it's not important right now for me.
Yeah.
So if I have to feel it. Same thing with the podcast. I was like, Veronica, podcast, yeah. But and I know one day I'm sure I'll do it. But it's just not my priority now. There are other things that I'm working on, other things that are bringing much more joy for me and what I'm doing. So I know myself. If I need it, I need to be committed. Because when I do it, I want to be committed. So I know commitment and consistency always does it. So I don't want a situation where I'll, back off and later on not follow through. I want to follow through. So I have to be committed. So I have to want it bad enough. It has to be important to me enough to want to execute this. And I have to check in with myself. I'm not going to do it just because it's trendy. No.
Okay. So that led you. So the businesses you were doing, you didn't feel that from the inside that they were what you were supposed to be doing?
No, not at all. I was just following, let's do this. Okay. Why don't we try this? You get a lot of money. Oh, all right. So you're just following for the wrong reason, never really checking in with yourself. This is important. Why is this important to me? What is the purpose? I don't know if is it the age in our early 20s, mid 20s back then. I'm almost 40. I'll be 40 next year. If it's the mindset, that you're not aware of who you are and you're just now figuring things out and navigating the waters, and then you make your mistakes and learn from them. It was a journey for me. So was I into those things? No, they were not my passion. They were not it wasn't my purpose. I had lost, like I said, my path when I ventured into these businesses for the wrong reasons. But I got back on track with the teaching because it was always what I wanted. Remember when I was 16-year-old in my mom's classroom, I was like, this is what I want to do. I wanted to inspire. I wanted to empower. I wanted to touch people's life. I wanted to make people happy. It was just like, and this is all vague stuff, right? So how do you package that? And I finally got that. Yes, the coaching is gonna be that vehicle. And then you have to refine that and polish that diamond into something more structured, right? So that it will still do the inspiring, it will still do the empowering, it will still do the transformation, but in a more structured way. You have to have a structure.
Yeah. And so where did LinkedIn come into the picture for you? When did you realize that this is the place to start growing your coaching business?
So back then, the only people that would listen to me were my mom and my sisters, and maybe my dad sometimes. Because I was in this journey of personal development. I was reading so much stuff back then, and I would call my mom. Did you know about the universe, that the principles, the blah, blah, blah? And this is like, Veronica, do you believe in God? Like, they didn't get me. They didn't get me. And about the law of attraction, the law of vibration, and how it works, and what actually about prayer, and what prayer actually means, and what it looks like, and how our prayer, really what we do now is so surface, and we have to go on a deeper level, all these things. I wanted a platform. I wanted somewhere to talk, share my views and all that. So I tried Facebook in the beginning. In the very beginning, when we were freshly baked coaches, can you believe, Mildred? I used to be a mompreneur. Can you imagine? Like that is the coaching thing. You're looking at where's your place. You're looking mompreneur. I got 2 kids. I can help moms. I wasn't feeling it, but how? I haven't gone through anything personally myself. My life is very fine, very balanced. What am I going to exactly? The messaging wasn't right. It wasn't consistent. It wasn't addressing a specific issue. It was just so vague. Yes, inspirational. Yes, inspiring. But it wasn't touching the people that I was meant to touch. So I wasn't consistent there. Because I was trying to figure out where my place was. How did I come upon LinkedIn even? I was surfing a bit, different platforms. And then on LinkedIn, I started, because of Facebook, I was finding other ways and other places I could, post videos. So LinkedIn was one of the options. And I remember a meeting I had with one CEO. His name is Steve Bartlett, CEO of Social Chain.
Oh yes, Stephen. Yeah.
Oh boy, I think that was a very breakthrough point. It was a coincidence. I had signed up for this networking event at Social Chain. I got there with my big belly. I was pregnant then. And I knocked at the door. Somebody opened. And it's like, oh, didn't you get the message? I was like, what message? The networking event was canceled. No, I didn't get the message. I think he felt sorry for me. Come in, have a coffee. Maybe I can introduce you. I can introduce you to our CEO. Blah blah blah. So and then Steve Bartlett came out and he had a conversation. He's like, Veronica, you know what? You need to do videos. You need to do more videos. You need to do this. This is like, okay, I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. After he said that, I took it seriously. I was like, okay, he knows something that I don't know. So let me listen. And that's where my video creation started. And I was posting on LinkedIn. And then on LinkedIn, I remember the very first challenge. It was like 7 days of storytelling challenge. I remember by, what's his name? Filippo? A Greek guy, his name. I wonder where he is. I haven't seen him in a while. Anyways, that was the first kind of thing, right? I don't know. I was like, I need to be consistent. I need to show up. And even then, I wasn't really sure of the messaging. I was still finding my way. Who exactly was I serving? And the unearthing was still in the process, right? This is like over 4 or 5 years ago, right? So I'm just going to evolve with it. I'm just going to see how it goes. And I got my very first client, like after 5-6 months of showing up.
5-6 months, consistency.
Let's
drum it home.
I could have done it much better if I had my messaging right. If I knew exactly who my client was. I think the lady just found me very inspiring, and so she helped. She signed up with me. But I had other clients from my networking events. I'm talking about online, right? And then I get another client. Like, oh, okay. Not long after, I was like, all right, this is working. I need to pay more attention. And then that's where the evolution started, and I grew my presence, and I grew in my messaging. I got more clearer, and I found exactly who I was here to be, what I was here to do, and how.
And did you start with the dancing videos straight away, or did you evolve into that?
It was by chance. I would never have dared. This is the mindset, you see. LinkedIn then was 3-4 years ago. It was still, I think LinkedIn has changed over 2 years it's changed. But back then, like 3-4 years ago, I was like, I've never seen anything like that. So it didn't really come to my mind. But I remember that Christmas, it was the Christmas time, and I went to London to visit a friend. I was like, oh, we created this dance. It's like, oh, for New Year's, why don't I just, as a New Year, I'm dancing into the New Year as a message. And it blew up. It blew up. I was like, whoa, okay. The message was there. Yes, I had a message with, not resolutions, like insights from the last year and things like that. And then there was a dance. I need to pay attention. When I see something, I'll pay attention. I'll pay attention. I'll learn. I was like, okay, here in LinkedIn, you need to pay attention. With my content, I pay attention to what's working, what isn't working. What do I need to focus more on? What should I do more of, or what should I not do more of, or what can I tweak here? What should I eventually stop because it's just not working? You need to pay attention. So that was when it really started. I was like, okay, this is something that has grown my audience, and this could be a strategy. So yeah, I want to grow my community. I want to grow my tribe of people that love dancing too. So why don't you use about dancing and having a message behind it?
And have you ever had anybody say, Veronica, this is not Facebook. We don't dance. We don't have fun on LinkedIn. We have serious faces and wear suits,
Mildred, with all honesty, I don't remember anybody saying that.
Good.
Because I know that LinkedIn police are always alert, and the self-appointed alert. But I've had one person say, "Are you normal?" Yeah, and I got that because when I checked him, he's from Africa, West Africa in particular, and sometimes that's what we say. Are you normal? Are you normal? I don't think so. I don't want to be normal.
I don't want to be, exactly.
Yeah. that was just, it wasn't anything offensive. It was like, are you normal? I was like, I don't know, what does normal mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So what is your LinkedIn strategy then? How often do you post, and is it videos every day? Do you mix it up? What's your strategy? What works for you? So
the strategy is knowing exactly who your ideal client is. That's where it starts. You can't decide how often you're going to post, or is it going to be video, if you don't know exactly who it is for, right? So I know exactly who my ideal tribe is, my ideal tribe member is. So what happens next, I know exactly what she wants. I know exactly her pains. I know exactly the frustrations, because that was me. I was a struggling coach as well. And when I say struggling, not in a very negative way. We are getting clients here and there, but we're still struggling to find exactly who. The clients may not be the most exciting ones. They may not be the ones that actually spark the fire within us, but we're just still doing it. But we're still figuring out where it is that we belong in this space. Imagine this vast ocean. It's vast, and you need to find that drop of water or that spot where you belong. That's where your space is. And then when you find that spot, what you do is now go deep. That's just that spot, and go deep there. Go deep there. You got the spot, now go deep. Because too many people are going wide. Wide. Here, maybe there, maybe here. And then it's frustrating. It's like, so where? Like, anybody? Somebody? But when you do find your spot. So yes, if you talk about LinkedIn strategy, it starts with knowing who you are, who your ideal client is. Next, you have to have a solution. So if you know who your ideal client is, so what is the solution? What is your program that you go? What's the bridge? I like the bridge analogy, because you can literally, when you close your eyes, imagine them crossing that bridge. You've built that bridge. Yeah, cross that bridge. That is what I've built for you to cross over to the other side. I know you want to go there, so this is what I have for you. So having that course or that program or that package, that offer structured, now based on that, you cherry pick little elements, little tips, hacks, solutions, ideas, insights, and create content. And your content is based on your program, or based on your package, based on what you're offering, based on the ideal client. So there is a consistent alignment with your client, with your bridge, your program, plus your messaging. And then you can decide how often you want to show up. I don't know, Mildred. I don't know. I show up maybe sometimes 4 days, sometimes 2 days. But I show up definitely minimum 3 days, maximum 5 days a week. I leave sometimes Saturday and Sundays for some rest.
Oh, good.
But I do post then. But yeah, so about two times minimum, 4 or 5 times maximum.
Okay, I love that. And I wanna ask you a final question about visibility, but guys, I know you've been here. They're feeling what you're saying, Veronica. And Antonia, go deep. Yes, who is your ideal tribe? And yes, what is normal? So yeah, JP, what is not? This is all perfectly normal. Absolutely, yeah, this is all more normal. And yes, Liz says we need to have fun, and of course, consistency. Yes. Consistency is a big one. It's absolutely a big one. So I love it. I love everything you said. I love that your strategy essentially is about first finding out your audience, finding out what they need, and then creating content for them. And then you're kind of saying that then how often you show up is not what's important, is that you're showing up with the right content for your right audience.
That's it. You can show up every single day and not know who exactly you're talking to, and it's not going to bring you anything. If it does, it's just by luck.
Okay. I love that. So because our time is up, and I can't believe already, I have to end with this question. What does being visible mean to you when you hear that phrase?
It means having the capacity and the capability to reach the masses with a message to impact. Visibility meaning having the ability to impact millions with a message to millions, a message to impact, a message to transform. So yes.
I love that. I love that. And you have that, and that is what you have, and you deliver it in such a fun way that really livens up LinkedIn. So when anybody says like, oh, you have to be formal on LinkedIn, you can't have fun, I'm like, go check Veronica out. Right? Go go check her out. You know,
just do you. But that's so cliche. Just do you. What does that mean when you don't know who you are totally? And that's why the unearthing of the gold dust is so important.
yes, yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. Veronica's been so wonderful. Speaking with you tonight, and what is the best way for people to plug into what you do? Is it finding you on LinkedIn?
Yes, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, V-Power Coach, Veronica Safoa Owusu, or connect with me on my website. But yeah, I'm here. I'm everywhere, so you'll find me if you want to.
Absolutely. And Lola has just reminded me that there's no way we're going to let you go. You have to dance your way out of the session.
You're going to dance with me, so let's get on to dance.
Okay, I hope you guys are all dancing, right, behind your screen. Yeah, this is my best. I love it.
Tonto, it's all about communication. Yeah, put your fist. Call me, yeah.
My kids are gonna cuss me if they see this afterwards. They're always like, "Mommy, you can't dance."
Yeah, mommy still got it.
I love it. Thank you so much, Veronica. It has been a real pleasure having you on this show, this episode of Visible Women on LinkedIn. So we love it. We absolutely love it.
Thank you so much, Mildred. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Guys, listen, Veronica's gonna go, but when you get some time, please do go through the comments, because loads of support in the comments, loads of people loving your vibe, feeling what you do. So, and please reach out to Veronica, right? You cannot be on LinkedIn without being connected with her. She's a masterpiece on how you can actually use this platform to be yourself. So go check her out and connect.
Yes, but we must remember, we're always evolving. I'm still growing. I'm still exploring. We're all internal students of life, and there's so much more to do. So as much as I feel that, as much as I feel yes, but we're still growing, and we're still exploring, and we're still learning how to improve ourselves.
Yes, I love it. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. We will connect with you again, but thank you for your time tonight, Veronica. All right, take care now. Bye-bye. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight for the third episode of Visible Women on LinkedIn. That was, oh my God, that was great. The energy that Veronica has, I think I've learned some dance moves. I'm going to practice it off camera though, right? I don't want anyone cussing me on LinkedIn for my dances. I'm going to practice off camera, but I love it. I love the interview. I love the conversation. Thank you so much for tuning in, every single one of you, because it's been great seeing you here. Liz, Antonia, Tamara, hey, JP, Portia, everybody. Grace, you made it. Wonderful. Lola, thanks for the reminder about the dance, right? We will see you again, because this is happening for another 3 sessions, and then there's going to be a bonus session. I'll tell you about that closer to the time, but this is happening every Thursday evening, 6 o'clock GMT, Visible Women on LinkedIn. And next week, I have got another wonderful guest for you, so it keeps getting better and better and better. So you don't want to miss it. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And all of you be here next Thursday. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm going to go through the comments later. And so thank you for responding. Thank you for being in the comments. And I am going to find my play. I tried to do this last time and it didn't work, but I'm going to play it out with I'm getting slicker with each episode, right? So I'm going to end it with a nice outro, and then I'm going to dance behind the scenes. But good night, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, whatever time in the world you are. And I'll see you back here next Thursday. Take care now. Bye-bye.